Okay guys, so welcome to this AFM, the Advanced Financial Management orientation session. Um, the agenda for the session is going to be that we shall be going through the syllabus of the AFM. We would be discussing how the AFM syllabus is examined, what are the core areas of the syllabus, and how exactly are we going to be covering this specific syllabus. So this is all that I'm going to be explaining to you people in today's session. I have in front of me the syllabus for the September 2022 to the June 2023 session, which is the relevant session for your attempt. So let's actually start off with this specific AFM syllabus. There's this content window in which you could actually see there are different things available. So what I'm actually going to do right now is that I'm going to go through the relevant area of this specific content, and which is basically the first thing that I think that you people should know is the relational diagram for the AFM examination. That what exactly is the relational diagram to it. So this relational diagram is in front of you people, and you could see that this relational diagram is actually telling you that which specific courses, which specific subjects are relevant for the AFM, what exactly are the connection of the different subjects. So you could see there is this management accounting, which is also known as F2 paper. So there is this connection with the F2 which is there. Then there is this FM, the F9 paper which is there. Then there is this SBL paper which is there. So basically the major connection is with the F9 and with the SBL paper. Now let me just give you a bit of an overview about this AFM, that how exactly does it have the relationship with these papers. So let me just give you a bit of a guidance, and then I'm going to move forward. So basically, for you to be able to understand this relationship, I would like to take you people through to the core areas of the syllabus of this AFM, because once I take you through the core areas of the syllabus, so it would actually make it very easier for you to understand. If you would actually look at this specific syllabus of the AFM, so there are these four core areas of the syllabus. What are those four core areas of the syllabus? One of them is the advanced investment appraisal. The other one of them is the acquisitions and the mergers. The third one of them is the corporate restructuring and the reorganization. And the fourth one of them is the treasury and the advanced risk management techniques. So these are the four core areas of the syllabus. Let me just guide you people about each one of these, and then I'm going to explain the relationship of the SBL and the FM with this paper. So you see, what happens is that here you could see that these are the four core areas of the syllabus. There are other areas of the syllabus also, but these are the four core areas of the syllabus. Now let me just give you a bit of a guidance that when we do study the F9 course, so at the FM, the F9 course, there are majorly 5-6 areas of the syllabus. What are those 5-6 areas of the syllabus? One of the area is the investment appraisal. The second area of the syllabus is the sources of finance. The third area of the syllabus is the cost of capital. You've got risk management. You have got business valuation. And the sixth one of the area is called working capital management. So when we actually look at the syllabus of the F9, these are the 6 areas of the F9 which are actually there. Now, basically, the reason that I'm explaining these 6 areas is that except for this working capital management, all 5 of these areas are actually examined at the AFM level. All 5 of these areas are examined at the AFM level. So when we do study the financial management, we do go about with the investment appraisal. The investment appraisal is basically when you decide if you have to invest, if you have to do a capital expenditure or not. When you decide that whether you are going to invest in a capital related, when you would actually make a capital expenditure or not, when you would actually acquire a new asset or not, when you would go for the upgradation of the existing asset or not, when you would go for the refurbishment of the existing asset or not. So that is something that you do with respect to the investment appraisal. And there are different techniques that we do study at the F9 level, which includes the NPV, which includes the IRR, which includes the payback, which includes the discounted payback. So there are different type of techniques that you actually do study at the F9 level. So when there are those different type of techniques which you do study at the F9 level, when it comes to the AFM, all of these techniques are examinable. All of these techniques are examinable, and the knowledge of these techniques is translated and is examined at the advanced level, and therefore we actually get a topic which is called advanced investment appraisal. So when we would actually be discussing the advanced investment appraisal at the AFM level, so the prior knowledge of the investment appraisal which you have studied at the F9, that is going to form the basis of your advanced investment appraisal. Now, a lot of students, they actually have a question, which is that would you be explaining to us the areas of the F9, because some of you people might be coming through an exemption route. Some of you might actually be coming through a route where you might have attempted the F9 paper around 1 year back, 2 year back, 3 year back. There could be different type of situations. So let me just guide you a bit that this whole syllabus is being delivered in a blended manner, which is a mixture of online live and online recorded classes. So what I do is that I make sure that I make available all the lectures of my F9 course for the students who are preparing for the AFM, so that in case if you have forgotten the F9 knowledge, in case if you need a revision of the F9, you could quickly refer to the F9 syllabus areas, and you could then continue with the AFM syllabus areas. So that is something that I actually do. So that's something that you would actually come across the investment appraisal. The next thing is there's this sources of finance where we actually decide which source of finance to go for. Should we go for equity? And if we have to raise the equity, how should we be raising the equity? Should we be going for the private placement? Should we be doing the right issue? Should we be doing an IPO? Should we be going for a second public offering? What should we be doing? So that is something that you decide. There is additionally, you go for the debt finance where you have to decide whether you're going to go for the issuance of the bonds, whether those bonds are going to be the straight bonds, whether those bonds are going to be the convertible bonds, whether those bonds are going to be the zero coupon bonds or the deep discount bonds. What type of bonds are they going to be? Are you going to go for a short-term bank loan or a long-term bank loan? What exactly is the type of loan that you are going to go for? So as a business, you have to decide about these different type of sources of finance that you are actually going to opt for. So at the AFM level, the knowledge of these different type of sources of finances, the pros and cons of going for a specific type of sources of finance are all going to be examined at this F9 level, as this AFM level. Plus, we do study the cost of capital, which is the weighted average cost of capital. That is the return which is desired by the providers of finance. So we do study the weighted average cost of capital. So when we would actually be going through the weighted average cost of capital area, so you need to understand this thing that at the F9 level, this WACC is an important area when it comes to business valuation, when it comes to the investment appraisal. So all of this knowledge is actually examined at the AFM level, and the AFM level you actually come across a topic which is the restructuring. At the AFM level, you come across a topic which is called restructuring. So when you come across the topic of restructuring, what actually happens is that with respect to this restructuring, all of these sources of finance, which specific type of finance is suitable under the different situations and the circumstances, what would be the cost of the finance that we are obtaining, etc., etc. There are different type of questions that the organization has. So all of these questions are actually answered when you go about, all of these questions are actually answered when you go about attempting the restructuring area. So I'm going to discuss a bit more about the restructuring, but I'm just trying to give you a connection of the financial management with the AFM. So these areas of sources of finance, these areas of cost of capital, they're connected with the restructuring area of the syllabus of the AFM. Then you study the risk management. What do you study in the risk management? We do study all different type of things. What are the all different type of things that we have studied? We have talked about the different type of currency risk management technique, including the forward contract, including the money market hedge. We have talked about the interest rate risk management and what could actually be the different techniques with respect to the interest rate risk management. So the different techniques with respect to the interest rate risk management are basically the different techniques with respect to the interest rate risk management are actually the techniques of uh, the interest rate futures, interest rate options, interest rate swaps, etc., etc. There are different type of techniques that are actually there. So basically, what happens is that at this AFM level, what are we going to be doing? We are actually going to be, I repeat, what are we going to be doing? We are actually going to be talking about these different techniques at the advanced level. So like there is actually going to be the currency risk management at the advanced level that's going to be examined. The money market hedge is going to be there. The forward rate is going to be there. But in addition to this, there is going to be the currency swap. There's going to be currency futures. There's going to be the currency options. That is all something that you're going to go about. Plus, in addition to this, what else is going to be there? For the interest rate, again, interest rate futures, interest rate options, interest rate swaps, there are different type of techniques that are actually going to be examined with respect to the interest rate risk management also. So this risk management is actually going to be the advanced risk management that we would be covering. And lastly, you have studied at the F9 level an area of business valuation, the different type of valuations, which include the asset-based valuation, income-based valuation, cash flow-based valuation. Although the cash flow-based valuation is not examined in a lot of detail, but there is a different type of valuations that we actually do go about. So basically, what is going to happen is that all of those business valuation areas are examined under the topic of mergers and acquisition. All of those areas are examined under the topic of mergers and acquisition. Now, let's just try to understand something. Let's just try to see something. Basically, what happens is that you could see that these are all F9 areas. These are all F9 areas. And these F9 areas are translated into the AFM areas of the advanced investment appraisal, corporate restructuring, reorganization, the mergers, acquisition, and the advanced risk management. So now the question that arises is that what exactly is the connection between F9 and the AFM? So I'm telling you these are the four core areas of the AFM, and all of these four areas, there is a backup. There is a F9 topic that actually acts as a backup for the AFM syllabus content. Again, the question mark that would arise is that how would we revise the F9 area? So I'm telling you that you would get the pre-recorded lecture access from the F9 and you would be able to apply that F9 knowledge into the AFM knowledge, and that is going to sort out things for you. So that's basically the core areas of the syllabus. Now, another question mark that actually arises is that what exactly is the connection of this AFM and the SBL? So now let me just give you a bit of a guidance. For example, you are taking an investment appraisal decision. You are deciding if you need to invest or not. You are deciding if you need to do the capital related expenditure or not. So if you're deciding with respect to the capital expenditure decision, there are non-financial aspects also that you have to consider. there are different type of business models that you have to consider. It's not just the financial decision, it's a business decision also. You need to consider the commercial aspects also. You need to consider the operational aspects also. You need to consider the competition. You need to consider your strengths. You need to consider your weaknesses. You need to consider the governmental policies, etc., etc., etc. There are different type of non-financial decisions that you also need to take. So basically, the knowledge that you study at the SBL, all of this knowledge is actually applied while taking the different type of decision. So whether that be an investment decision, whether that be a decision for the mergers and acquisition, or whether that be a decision which would ultimately involve restructuring within the organization, all of that would require a knowledge of the SBL, the different business models, the Porter Five Forces model, the pestle analysis, the SWOT analysis, the BCG matrix, the governmental policies, etc., etc., etc. The different type of business decisions that you are going to be considering while taking a decision. So you got to be considering all this. Now, again, some of you people would say that we have not covered up the SBL till now. How exactly are we going to cover up? So if you have not covered up SBL till now, that should not be an issue. The reason being, again, when we teach the AFM course, we make sure that whatever the SBL knowledge that is needed, I'm not saying the entire SBL knowledge, but whatever the SBL knowledge that is needed in the given circumstances, we make sure that we deliver that knowledge. We make sure that we discuss those aspects of the business so that it makes it easy for you to go through this specific paper. So basically, I'm going to move forward a bit as I've discussed the overall syllabus relational diagram. I've also discussed the core areas of the syllabus. So I'll discuss a bit more about those core areas of the syllabus and the other syllabus areas so that you could have an idea that what exactly is covered up in those syllabus areas. First of all, there is this syllabus area A, which is the role of senior financial advisor in a multinational organization. Now let me just give you a bit of a guidance that what exactly is this all going to be. When we talk about the role of senior financial advisor in the multinational organization, so you got to understand one thing. When it comes to AFM, you are acting as a senior advisor. You are acting as a senior financial advisor for a business. So if you are acting as a senior financial advisor for the business, so you got to understand that what type of decisions that a senior financial advisor would take. What type of governmental policy would they have to consider? What type of international regulations would they have to consider? So you got to consider all of those things. I repeat, you got to consider all of those things, right? So whenever you're gonna be looking after it, you got to make sure that you consider all of these things, which is that what are the governmental policies, what is the financial management environment that is prevalent, what are the different laws and regulations that are prevalent, what are the ethical aspects that I need to look after. So you got to cover up all those aspects. This is more of a theoretical aspect, but again, we're going to be discussing this area also. And to me, this could actually constitute around 7 to 8% of the syllabus, that you could actually have some bits and pieces in the different areas of the syllabus. Then I've got the advanced investment appraisal. I told you that the basics of F9 is there, but again we have got the advanced techniques. We've got the different advanced techniques of cash flows. We have got the option pricing theory. We have got free cash flows technique. We have got international investment appraisal. So there are different type of techniques that are actually going to be there. So it's all actually an advanced level from the F9 whatever that we have studied. Then for the mergers and acquisition, the key decisions: which company to acquire, what should be the value, how should we be financing the decision. So there are different type of decisions that you have to take. So when we would be discussing the mergers and acquisition, these are all different type of decisions that we would be taking and we would be considering them. So basically the valuation, the financing, and the regulatory environment. Then we talk about the corporate reconstruction and reorganization, which include three type of things: financial reconstruction, business reconstruction, and the organizational reconstruction also. Now let me just guide you a bit. What is financial reconstruction? It's actually changing the capital structure. converting debt to equity, or the vice versa. Converting one form of equity into another form. So that is also the case. Converting one form of debt into another form. So that could also be the case. So we would be discussing that how the financial reconstruction take place and how it actually has an impact on a business. In addition to this, we would also be discussing about the business reorganization. So as an organization, you bring about a changes to the way your business is conducted. Maybe you discontinue a line of business. Maybe you sell a line of business. Maybe you actually change the way you conduct the business, etc., etc. There could be different type of things that could actually happen. There could be different type of things that actually take place. So all of this could actually happen as a business. So when we'll be talking about the business reorganization, what exactly are we be talking about? We'll be talking about that how a business gets reorganized, how the reorganization of the business has an impact on the entity. So we are going to be discussing all of this thing. Then, as I discussed, we have the advanced risk management techniques, which has got the advanced level techniques of the interest rate risk management, and which has got the advanced level techniques of the currency risk management. So that is all that we are going to be doing through. So basically, when we talk about the AFM course, so as I told you that there are 4 core areas of the syllabus, which is the advanced investment appraisal, the mergers and acquisition, the corporate restructuring and reorganization, and the fourth one of them is basically the risk management. Plus this specific area, which is the role of senior financial advisor, etc. This actually is complementing all these 4 areas. Plus you could see these 2 areas also, which is one of them is about the professional skills, which has recently been introduced, plus the employability and technology skills. Now what are these employability and technology skills? So let me just guide you a bit. The employability and the technology skills more or less refer to your skills of being able to. They more or less refer to your skills of being able to use the word processing document, to use the spreadsheet, so that you are work ready. So it's not something for which you have to learn something new. It's just that you need to know how the CB examinations are attempted. If you know this thing, this is more than enough. Then there is this professional skills, which is important. So I'm going to go through these professional skills also, that what exactly are these professional skills. The professional skills have been introduced by ACCA, and they would cover up all the optional examination except for the ATX, but ATX it's going to be covered or examined in ATX also very soon, but it's now examinable at the AFM, APM, and the AAA level. Now what are these 4 professional skills? You could see that this includes communication, analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. Let me just give you a bit of an idea that what exactly are these 4 skills. Then I'm going to tell you how these 4 skills are going to be examined in the paper. First of all, when we talk about the communication includes a lot of things. The communication would include a lot of things, include the way you report. If you are being asked to produce a report, the way you're going to produce the report, the language that you're going to use, the presentation that you're going to adapt. So the different type of things. So the different type of things that you are actually going to undertake, which would include the way you would draft a report, the language that you're going to use, the professional language that you're going to use, the way you're going to present, the way you're going to actually have a flow of the report. So all of those things are actually going to count towards the communication skills. Then secondly is the analysis and the evaluation skills. At times when you are being given a data, so how you analyze the data, how you relate the data, how you create the relationship, how you create the links between the data, how you interpret that data, all of this is going to be considered as your analysis and evaluation skills. So maybe you've been given some information, Maybe you're given some financial statements, maybe you're given some non-financial numbers. If you create a link amongst them, if you analyze them, if you interpret them, that means you are applying the analysis and the evaluation skills. Then there is this skepticism, which actually means questioning attitude. You may actually be given different assumptions like the sales would grow by X%, the interest rate would remain the same, or the inflation rate would remain the same, etc., etc. Obviously, it's not going to happen. How could it be possible that the trend, that the growth rate of the sales could be constant? How could it be possible that the inflation would remain constant? How could it be possible that your gearing would not change as the business progresses? It's something not a valid assumption. So skepticism is that is kept maintaining a skeptical attitude, a questioning attitude, where you question the assumptions, where you question the data, where you question the information, where you raise doubts. So that's called having a skill of a skepticism. And lastly, having a commercial acumen. You see, when we study taxation, we study two things. One of them is tax evasion, one of them is tax avoidance. Tax evasion is illegal, tax avoidance is legal. When you avoid the tax, so at times you are acting ethically, at times you're not acting ethically, depending upon the situation, depending upon the circumstances, because you play with the loopholes in the rule, in the law. Now what actually happens is that having a commercial acumen would mean that you take decisions which are legal, which are ethical, but at the same time, they should be making a commercial sense. They should be benefiting the organization commercially. Like if something is not illegal and if you have a decision to make, so you should probably go for a decision which is more of a commercial nature. You should actually have a recommendation which should sound more commercial, which should actually be commercially beneficial, commercially viable for the organization. So that's actually demonstration of commercial acumen. So when we talk about the paper, the examiner has given a 20% weightage to these four professional skills and you got to be demonstrating them, which is the communication skills, the analysis and the evaluation skills, the skepticism, and then the commercial acumen. Now, when it comes to the examination of the paper, whether that be the AFM paper, whether that be the APM, whether that be the AAA paper, the paper is going to be examined like this. Just have a look at it. For the section A, there's going to be a single 50-mark question. That's okay. But in that question, 10 marks would be professional skills. And all of the professional skills will be examined in section A. That means all four: communication, analysis and evaluation, the skepticism, and the commercial acumen. All those four skills would be examined. Next, for the section B, what is expected? It will consist of two compulsory 25-mark questions, and for each question there will be 5 professional marks. And the questions will contain a combination of professional skills appropriate to question. Each question will contain a minimum of 2 skills. There could be 4 also. So basically 10 marks in section A and 10 marks in section B. 5 marks for each question. That makes the 20 marks that you would actually be required to score in the examination. So it's not just gonna be the technical aspect, but it's going to be the professional skills also that you would have to develop in case if you wish to pass. Now, a lot of students have a question that how do we go about with these professional skills? So let me just guide you a bit. You see, the professional skills just need a bit of a fine tuning. You don't need to be demonstrating them extraordinarily. It's just that you need to know what is the technical knowledge needed, and on the basis of that technical knowledge you could have the professional skills automatically being demonstrated. Why? Because there is some fine tuning, there are some factors which you have to consider, there are some do's and some don'ts which you have to consider, and automatically the professional skills are going to be delivered. So basically uh, I shall be keeping sessions for the discussion of the professional skills with you people as we go through the course. So I have actually gone through the AFM, that what exactly is this AFM all about. Now let me just guide you a bit that how exactly would I be delivering this AFM course. So let me just give you a bit of an idea. Um, the AFM course that I'm going to be delivering, there is a website of Scriber Academy. The website's name is www.scriberacademy.com. When you would go onto the website, there is probably going to be a pop-up. There are different type of options that you have: ACCA extensive course, ACCA fast track course, ACCA question based revision. What are these three different type of courses that we are offering? The extensive course is for the first timers. It's a complete course. 100% syllabus is being covered. It's a complete course. The fast track covers around 70% of the course, and it's ideally suited for those who actually would like to do a reset, or who have already studied but they need or they who have already studied somewhere else, or have studied prior to this session, and they need more support, so they could go for it. And question based revision is for those people who have already completed studying the course and are now just looking for past paper solutions and all that. So it's actually suited for them. I'm just going to open all three of them for you so that you could have an idea that what exactly are these courses all about. Like for example, if I talk about this extensive course as it is, maybe I could go for the AFM course. So you see, when you are actually going to be looking at this AFM course, you would see there is this description which actually tells you that this is suited for those who are looking to prepare for the very first time. The course has got complete detail, like there is this FM revision also. Then there is this topic, there are different questions, everything is there. Every single thing that you could actually think of is actually there. When you would look at fast track course, let's say again, if I take you to the AFM fast track course, maybe let's say. AFM fast track course would not have every single area of the syllabus. It would have the limited coverage, but it would cover the core areas of the syllabus, would have exam practice questions, but it won't be 100% course. Then you have got the question based revision. This question based revision is purely going to cover up only the examination questions. It's only covering the past paper question. So it's actually suited for those who are looking for just past paper question. So it's actually suited for those people. So as a student, you could actually decide whatever that you would like to go about. My approach of teaching is gonna be that I'm actually gonna make you people go through. I mean, like I would share with you people a planner for the course, and you could actually go through that planner. You could follow the planner. We would have query sessions which are going to be at times weekly, at times fortnightly, and there are then going to be the exam revision sessions at the end of the session. So that is how the approach is going to be. So all of you who are actually interested can actually get in touch with me, or you can get in touch with our admin. So my contact number, which you could actually get in touch with me, is +92 331 2366 161. If you want to get in touch with our admin, their contact number is 92 346 666 or it's +92 340 866 8888. So it actually depends upon you whom do you would like to get in touch with. You can actually get in touch with our admin and you could get yourself enrolled for the courses. So thank you very much guys for attending the session. Thank you for your time. In case if you've got any queries, in case if you've got any questions, do let me know. Thank you.